Good morning, everyone. It is time for our final installment of Cheesemares. So I think where we left it yesterday, Hal and Rufus had just been captured by the patrol cows. Okay, let's find out what happens to them today. Chapter 8, The Contessa. The cow patrol dragged Hal and Rufus down corridor after corridor, deep into the house of cheese. Hal tried every trick he knew to get away, but every time he slowed down or pretended to tie his shoelace, one of the patrol cows would push his back with a sharp hoof and shout, "Move!" Soon they came to a grand doorway. One of the patrol cows stepped forward and rang the little cowbell that hung from the frame. "Moo, is it?" came a shrill voice from inside. "It's the patrol cows," called the patrol cow. "We've arrested a human and a fat dog." "Just a moment," called the voice. There was a sound of dainty hoof steps, and then the voice bellowed, "Come." Hal and Rufus were pushed into a room which would have made kings and queens feel a bit poor. In the middle of that room stood the most evil cow in the world, the Contessa von Udderstein. Wow, she does look pretty evil, doesn't she? "So," hissed the Contessa, "human spies, is it? The last humans that sneaked in here were cooked alive in melted cheese." Hal gulped. "You don't scare me, von Udderstein," he yelled. "Oh, but I think I moo," mocked the Contessa. "I scare millions of little human children like you every night with my cheesemares." "So it's true," gasped Hal. "Your cheese does give children cheesemares. But why?" Why? Snapped the Contessa. "Like you don't know. Theft, that's why. Theft. For years you nasty little humans have been stealing our milk. Stealing it with your little human fingers on your little human hands. Stealing it. And for what? To make milkshakes and yogurt and ice cream and cheese and butter and sour cream and fudge and curds and whey and lassie and custard and—" "I get the picture," said Hal. "Yes, I'm sure you moo," snapped the Contessa. "And soon billions of children across the world will get the picture too. They'll get horrible pictures in their nasty little heads every night, everywhere. We're going global. Evil cheese made with our evil milk will soon be rolled out around the world." The Contessa began to laugh. It was not a nice laugh. It was a horrible, evil cow laugh. "Moo hoo ha ha ha! Moo hoo 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 ha ha ha!" Rufus decided he liked evil cow laughter even less than having a hanky up his nose. "Run," he said. "What?" said Hal. "Run," barked Rufus. He jumped up and bit Contessa von Udderstein right on the udder. Uh-oh. Chapter 9, Run. There isn't another sound on earth that is as awful as the scream of an evil cow that has a fat dog biting her udder. Contessa von Udderstein was a very mad cow. She thrashed this way and that in an attempt to throw off Rufus as evil milk spurted around the room. The patrol cows ran to and fro, trying to grab Rufus as he was swung around and around. None of them could catch him. Any that did found that hooves couldn't hold on to flying fur for very long. Hal watched for a moment before he remembered Rufus's advice and ran. Hal fled up and down many corridors before he found himself in the main hall on the factory floor. The cow patrol upstairs must have noticed that he had gone, as alarm bells began to ring around the house of cheese. Red lights flashed on the walls and lit up the horrific machines. Hal could hear hooves hammer the floor as the cows spread out to track him down. It wasn't long before they found him. "Here's the human," a voice shouted. "Get it," mooed another. Hal leapt from the grasp of one cow, almost into the hooves of another. He was smaller and faster than they were, but there were lots of them, and they were closing in. Hal reckoned he should head up the way in the hope that the cows weren't good climbers. Hal jumped up onto a huge mixing machine and began to climb. The cows followed. They were surprisingly nimble. Hal leapt from the mixing machine onto one with big paddles. Still the cows followed. They were getting closer. Hal ran along the top, grabbed a long tube, and swung across to a vast cooling tank. There was a ladder on the side of the tank, and Hal began to climb. He looked down. The cows weren't very good at swinging, but they would find a way across soon. Hal climbed on, higher and higher, until he reached the top. He looked down the other side to see the cows on the way up. He looked back the way he had come. More cows were making their way up the ladder. He was trapped. Hal sat down on the top of the tank. There was a flap open next to him, and he could see evil green milk churning inside the tank. It swirled and splashed around, and the horrid smell rose up to meet Hal's nostrils. Hal pulled away and began to search in his backpack. Did he have anything that could help him escape? A sandwich? No. A biscuit? No. Goat Farming Today magazine? No. A carton of Happy Dairy's pure milk? What would happen, thought Hal, to an evil milk machine if some pure milk was poured into it? There was only one way to find out. Hal popped off the cap and poured the clean white milk into the churning green below. For a moment, nothing happened. Then there was a creak, then a deep groan inside the tank. The cows stopped climbing. A small puff of steam hissed out of the machine. Then the bangs started, and the clunks and the clanks. The cows ran. They didn't care about Hal anymore. They just ran for it, some on 2 legs, some on 4 for even more speed. Hal thought running for it might be a good idea. He slid down the side of the machine and ran as fast as he could towards the daylight. He ran as fast as his legs would carry him out of the house of cheese. He ran fast, but not as fast as Rufus, who appeared next to him with what looked like the end of a cow tail in his mouth. They just managed to get to a safe distance before they turned to see. Kaboom! Oh wow, look at the house of cheese. Chapter 10, Getting Back. Oh look, it looks like they are coming back the way that they came. Chapter 11, Case Closed. Hal and Rufus made it home just in time for tea. "Well," asked Hal's mum, "did you solve the case of the Cheesemares once and for all?" "Yes, thank you," said Hal. "That's nice," said Hal's mum. "You're just in time for dinner. Go and wash your hands." "You're in luck, son," smiled Hal's dad. It's your favourite, macaroni cheese. Well, that is it, the tale of the Cheesemares. That was a really fun story to read. Again, if you've got any suggestions for books, throw them down in the comments and I will see if I can get my hands on them. Otherwise, tune in tomorrow for another great story. Bye for now.